The black rooms, they were not there for you to try your little misdirection math problem. Do you know what I mean? Like the white audience sometimes will entertain. They'll be like, "Oh, I see what you did there. Yeah, I got it." And the black room's like, "Oh yeah, okay, good, whatever." Yeah. "Oh, so you didn't kill him?" "So I stabbed him." "Oh, I guess you stabbed him." I don't, it was important that like you acknowledge that we're in this room.
In this video, Andrew Schulz welcomes comedian Gary Owen on the Flagrant podcast. Andrew Schulz and Gary Owen discuss the role of politeness in comedy. With that, let's watch Andrew Schulz school a left-wing comedian.
I'm curious, like so many of the stories is you obviously having so much acceptance within the black community specifically. I'm curious, was there ever any issue being a white dude in that space that caused you problems or you lost opportunities purely just because of, what you look like?
No, I think I didn't. I think it's one thing to be a white guy and you're acting like you want to hang out with black people when you're ingrained in the culture. Mm-hmm. Like I said, they saw me at the black spots when I got to LA. I wasn't doing the Comedy Store all night. I was going to Maverick's Flat. I was going to Comiac Theater. I was going to all the black shit, and not the ones in Hollywood. I'm talking about the ones in Compton and on the other side of the 10. You know what I mean? So I never saw that. Most of the comics was cool.
It's so weird how like I saw that in New York too. Like we would do the black rooms in New York when we were coming up, and I just didn't understand why it was so divided. Yeah, especially like
you're talking about the black comedy world.
Yeah, no, like why comics
white and black.
Yeah, there'd be like these white comics that would be doing open mics. They'd be trying to get up at the clubs, and they would do these open mics that were horrible. And the black rooms. This is what I'll say about the black rooms. If you show up and you want to get up,
they will get you.
They'll get you up.
That's why I started doing them.
They're way more accepting than the clubs are not going to make you send them a tape, go do this whole fucking rigmarole. And then the open mics in the city are just literally that. It's just comedians there. There's no regular audience member. So in my mind, I was just like, well, I want to go up wherever. It's not like weird to perform for black people. I grew up in New York City, but the what I saw was like mostly the non-black comics in New York would not even venture to the black rooms.
Which is crazy because you figure...
Don't you want to go up in front of people?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. You want to push yourself. Like, I want to make sure these jokes they go over wherever I'm at.
Yeah. And also one thing that I think really taught me in the black rooms is like the black rooms, they were not there for you to try your little misdirection math problem. Do you know what I mean? Like the white audience sometimes will entertain. They'll be like, "Oh, I see what you did there. Yeah, I got it." And the black room's like, "Oh yeah, okay, good, whatever." Yeah. "Oh, so you didn't kill him?" "So I stabbed him." "Oh, I guess you stabbed him." I don't, it was important that like you acknowledge that we're in this room. And I want to go back to that moment where like Floyd comes back in. Floyd walks into your special taping. Yeah, like. You have to be present in the room. That's something I learned in the black rooms. You have to be present in the room. If you are not present, they immediately will just check out on you.
There are a lot of people that make a lot of money and have a lot of incentive to keep the idea that we're divided racially against one another. There are people that are incentivized to keep that going. The race hustlers, race baiters, people with the victim mentality. I just don't see it any other way except we all bleed red. A song I really like says, "I'm not pro-black, I'm not pro-white, I'm pro-American." That's how I look at it. But we always talk about the culture of different ethnicities. And I do think there's different culture between ethnicities. That still doesn't go against my main premise that we're all the same. We're all human beings. Another thing that we all need to remember is that not only is it the woke race hustlers and perpetual victims that keep this stuff going, but the powerful in this world, the people with money that we can't imagine, they're incentivized to keep us fighting with one another in the United States. Because when we're divided, they can control us. Much, much easier. They want to make it me versus you, where it should be us versus them, meaning the government or, like I said, these kind of unseen powers that be, the wealthy, the elite, whatever you want to call it. And that can be on a scale of the country or it can be on a scale of the world. But all of those folks like people to be distracted with hating one another. So we're not looking at what they're doing. I don't know how relevant that is to the video, but they started talking black and white. And I don't really think I've talked about it much on here, but I really do believe we're all equal. There's equally as many good people in one race as there are in another race. There's an equal number of shitty people in one race that there are in another race. You know what I mean? Like, and I believe the vast majority of people in this country really don't care about the color of someone's skin. A, they're just going to be drawn to people like they like regardless of skin color. And B, most adults have a lot of responsibility. You don't have time to run around worrying about hating another group of people for no other reason but the color of their skin. Sorry, I could go on about this forever. Anyway, let's get back to
They're like, are you going to pretend I'm not here?
The
Like, what
emotion has to be real.
You have to be present. Like, if something weird is happening, you have to call it out.
Yeah.
And I think it's something that's really helped me in my career that I don't think I would have developed in the white rooms at all, or like the whatever you call them, the mainstream rooms.
Mainstream rooms, yeah.
And it's like, because they'll give you a little bit of leeway. Like, the joke will go over and you'll be like, oh, I guess that one didn't go over. And then they'll always be like, all right, well, what's the next one?
Yeah.
There's this like politeness that exists, right? Like,
Yeah.
And but yeah, it's interesting. Like you develop this like really important tool for comedy, which is being able to stay present in the moment. Not every show is going to be polite, where people are like, they waited 2 weeks to get that ticket to go to the cellar, and they're ready to go, and they're waiting with their hands clasped like this.
Yeah.
You know, I wish more comics, especially when they're younger, would go into the black rooms. I think they learn a lot more.
Yeah. I think I've only been to the cellar once. in my
Really?
life.
Wow.
Are you scared to do white rooms?
No, not at all.
Do you remember the first time?
I'm begging. I keep begging my agent, and he'll tell you this: get me in Salt Lake, please. I just want to go. I want to experience everything.
Yeah, because I
know
don't
what I
think you wouldn't cross over.
Yeah.
No,
Like, I think it'd be very easy.
This,
Like-
this latest special, and
Yeah.
it was on purpose. And somebody would be like, "Ooh, don't listen to haters and stuff." The one on Mint right now, there's no race jokes, and that was a
Yeah.
purposeful thing on my part.
But why? I don't think that.
There's not one mention at all, and I was just like, you know what? Because how this special came out was the last special I had, Broken Family. We did that on Friday, and I woke up Saturday morning and I told my manager, I said, I think I had another hour. Did we get it last night? Because we did 2 shows. She goes, yeah, we're clean. I go, I'm gonna do a different hour tonight. So we sat there at the coffee shop, and we wrote down bullet points. And I just remember there was 12 bullet points, and it was like 1 or 2 words, and we taped it to the stage.
Wow.
So I could glance down, and because I didn't want a choppy special if I was going to try it. I needed the flow. So we did it in the flow of things, and it came out good. And then when I wrote it, I looked at it, I said, look, there's no race jokes in this. Almost like laughing about it.
Yeah.
And then when I saw it, I go, all right. Yeah.
I don't think
race jokes in this shit.
Again, I'm curious. You know, obviously.
If you like watching videos like this one, like and subscribe. We'd really appreciate it. Let's get back to the video.
I want it to be successful just because I love you, but like I don't think that like staying away from race jokes would change any dynamic. I actually think going on pods and stuff will communicate to more people that at the end of the day you're a storyteller, and like you
especially
telling,
when you live with a drug dealer in LA.
White people are interested in that shit. White people watch The Wire. You know what I mean?
Facts.
So to me, it's just about like an education process. You're a storyteller at the end of the day. White people probably seeing you in these black spaces, and then they might go, oh, maybe he's a comic for black people and not for me. White people are a little concerned about that shit. They want to watch black shit from afar, but they don't want to be in it a lot of times.
I mean, that's the reason why Roots was like the #1 show on TV in the 70s when that miniseries came out, because white people's like, I want to watch this shit.
Who the biggest consumer of hip hop music is white people, right? I mean, there's you know, population things that affect that as
exactly what
well.
you're saying.
But no, I know.
I want to watch it on TV. I don't know if I want to go to the concert.
But there is a little concern, and also like to defend white people sometimes there also is like a shame. It's like, am I appropriating this? There's sometimes a slap on the wrist if white people do get too interested. They're like, oh, you're gonna take this shit from us, which I understand from black perspective as well, which is like they have seen that happen, like white people putting cornrows in and all of a sudden trying to make it some white shit. So I understand both sides of it, but like there is a thing with white people, it's like they want to like comfortably.
Now, I 100% disagree with Andrew about the white person puts in cornrows and another race gets mad. That's just crazy. I mean, culture appropriation to me is just a made-up thing. All this stuff is out there. If I put my hair in cornrows, it wouldn't look very good. So I try to have hairstyles or wear things that look good on me. You know what I mean? And if that's something, it happens to be something that is rooted in another culture, thank you to that culture. I appreciate it. I'm going to wear it, but anyone getting sensitive about what someone else is wearing or the style of their hair, you have way, 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 way too much time on your hands. But this Gary Owen, I guess I kind of didn't introduce him that well. If you don't know who he is, he does a ton of race jokes. And like Andrew said, he was very early on acknowledged as being very welcome in Black culture and by Black Americans. I think the reason he got acceptance is exactly what he said. That's who he grew up around. So when he came to LA or whatever, that's what he gravitated to when he was starting to do stand-up. And I think the key is authenticity. I think regardless of race, if you do your best to be yourself, not care what other people think, or try to be something you're not, and don't try to be something you're not, 99 times out of 100, you'll be accepted by people of any race. I mean, Gary is a really good example. He was being himself, doing what he knew, and it just so happened to overlap with Black culture and similar interests. So there's probably, I really doubt, I think he's honest when he says there was never a problem, or any issue like getting in the door with a certain group of people or something, because I don't think it was ever an issue. I doubt there was ever a question to Black Americans like, are we going to accept this guy or not? I think Gary is a good guy. I think he's being 100% himself. I mean, as far as I can see, I guess I don't really know, but that's the impression I get. And so so it seems like from a young age, he was just being himself. He wasn't seeking acceptance. Conversely, I think people of any race's antenna go up when someone's not being authentic, regardless of their race, because the lack of authenticity means you're being dishonest before you even have a relationship with this person. They see from the jump that you're disingenuous. So I think the obvious question for anyone, again, this is regardless of race, the question people would ask is, what does this person I don't know want? What's their angle? It would be very suspicious if I started hanging out somewhere that's primarily patronized by another race and I was trying to act like what I believed they act like. I can promise right now, I don't need to do that experiment to know that wouldn't go over too well. I've only said authentic about 8,000 times in this short little snippet here, but it took me a long time to learn it. That's being yourself isn't real easy. Being yourself for some people, me included, isn't the easiest thing. But when I am being myself, I'm at the most peace, because I'm not struggling internally. Like, what do other people think? What do they want me to say here? Should I please this person? Anyway, talk too long again. Let's wrap it up.
Watch something that they have nothing to do with. They really are. White people are really interested in that kind of shit. But I think the stories that you tell, especially the ones from today, like my assumption is people are going to love this, and they're going to be like, I want to go check out Gary's. Like that, what the stand up is like. So I'm
it's way better.
Yeah.
I do coke on stage. I stole key from him. I do one line in his memory every fucking show, bro. Now you've been asleep since fucking February.
You gotta snort.
That's why I was sweating.
You gotta snort it for the homies sometimes.
Do you see how the coke came out of my system? Bro.
You're detoxing.
This is crazy.
You
I don't need this fucking pound on
That wasn't lotion, it was blow.
The first 20 minutes of this was rough. So I don't know what happened, dude.
You were pouring.
Yeah, then it just stopped.
Yeah,
that happened. That happened on Think Like a Man. The first one. Oh my fucking god! The first time we all sat in the bar together and we're in the scene, I started leaking just like I was on here, and I didn't know why. I'm not nervous. I'm amongst friends. I go, why the fuck am I sweating? And I know
For whatever it's worth, anybody watching this that's a comedy fan and you've never seen Gary Owen, you should check him out. And this is coming from somebody, of everything I could consume, whether it's news, movies, TV, music, comedy is probably my favorite thing. So I know we all have different tastes, but I think most people would really enjoy Gary Owen's comedy. I think it's kind of for everybody. But that was interesting when he said earlier, he's like, oh, I wrote my new special. And I was like, man, there's not any race jokes in here. And Andrew said something like, well, I think race jokes would be fine or something like that. And I kind of think, and I could have read it wrong, but I think Andrew kind of missed the point that staying away from race jokes didn't sound like it was Gary's intent. I think he was just writing stuff that was funny. And a lot of times for him, the race stuff makes sense because, like they said, he's a storyteller. But I think he was like, I just want to make it as funny as possible. And there just didn't happen to be any race jokes in it. So I don't think he needed like permission to let himself do that. And I think it speaks to his talent too. He's not a one-trick pony. It's not like, okay, he's the white guy that goes up in black clubs or something like that. Anyway, this was definitely one of my odder commentaries, but we want to hear from you. What do you all think about this conversation between Andrew Schulz and Gary Owen? Let us know in the comments. Anyway, as always, really appreciate you watching, and we will see you in the next one.